What's up? How goes it? I'm showcasing the Briar in the room here. Because we have to talk about Briar. We have to get to talking about Briar. Oh, were you? Yeah, I decided not only did I want to record the podcast this morning, go edit the podcast and release it the same day, but I also wanted to go live to everybody so that we could have some conversation. Hi. Appreciate your criticism of the bands and unbands. Well, thank you. Thank you. I hope to think that I have good takes and that my takes are not bad. Because the last thing I want is bad takes. I don't want bad takes. Another stream today. That's right, Jonathan. You, Johnny boy, are blessed by 2 streams because you are a channel member and you got to join us this morning for what is essentially the same conversation. We got to get into it, and like a live conversation about this, I think is going to be pretty important. Oh no, I am not the only person frustrated by this. We should. You would like to unban Ball Lightning. We don't need to do all that. We don't need that kind of monstrosity. We can't be doing all that. Bubs, you want to say hi to everybody? Is that what's going on? Oh. Now, little man, can you tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on the BNR? Can you give me a little idea about your thoughts on the BNR and who you thought was going to get banned? Okay. You didn't vote. You didn't vote for your hero in Silver Age? No. Why not? Well, why not? Why not, buddy? Why couldn't you vote? Why didn't you vote? I know I brought you to a Silver Age armory. You could vote. You're capable of voting. You're old enough to vote. Did you know that? It really does. Bubbers, you gotta look more happy. Little man. Who do we all vote to ban in Silver Age? I voted to ban Ira, but okay, first and foremost, right? Let me pause the music here, okay? I need to make this incredibly clear before any more internet bullshit continues to occur. Not regarding me. Y'all love me. Do not think for even a second at all, and I mean this as somebody who is influencing you in this moment, do not assume at all that LSS rigged the votes to keep Briar legal to sell the precon. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I do not think that you should be thinking that. This is a card game. It is a $20 precon. I have seen some stuff out there from some people stating that they think that LSS rigged the votes so that way Briar wasn't banned and that they were able to release the precon for Have That. I think Briar was an afterthought for sure. And I would buy the Sage pre. Exactly. I think that's the case, right? I think anybody would have bought the precon even if Briar was banned, right? Mr. Redmond, I'm glad we just go through the past precon unbans now rather than later. And so that's not a bad concept, right? Is this it? This is the one. There we go. That's where you all are now. So I get that. I get that it's better now that we have all the precons out and that then we have all the precons out. So that way when season 4 happens or season 3 happens, season 3 happens, there's no more precons to go through everything, right? With that being the case, sure, right? We get the precon stuff out of the way. We don't have to worry about Chain being powerful now and then Briar being powerful in season 3. And then eventually them both getting banned along the same vein. But the issue is that it is really early in the stages of Flesh and Blood for Silver Age. This is another foray into a format that is not classic constructed. And if you've been playing the game for a long time, you know that classic constructed is pretty much the only thing a majority of the player base cares about is classic constructed. Every now and again, there's a little side game of something going on. People might want to give it a shot. But they're not dedicated to learning it. They're not dedicated to a competitive meta. They're not dedicated to these things. And I don't think that they should be making poor choices in an onboarding format because of these specific things. Because we want people to get into the game, get familiar with a power level, and then emulate that power level as they continue to grow into classic constructed, right? I'd imagine the goal for everybody, forever is you are either going to do one of two things. You're going to enter the game through Silver Age, or you are going to enter the game through Silver Age and stay in Silver Age, right? You're not going to move on to set classic constructed. You're going to enter the game through Silver Age, stay in Silver Age, or you're going to enter through the game in Silver Age, move to classic constructed. I'd like to imagine, obviously, there's a third one that says enter the game at Silver Age and quit the game. And that is going to suck if that's like the metric that's huge, right? But the issue I have... The player when you... Yeah, so like, you have a general idea, right? Like, getting acclimated to a power level, it's important. And for you to go, this is what the power level of these heroes are, and then a whole set comes out, and a whole set of unbans happen that make another hero so incredibly busted that there's already like a bunch of noise about how they're going to be the best deck in the format and how they're not going to be able to be stopped. Their power is going to be left unchecked because their cards can't be banned. It doesn't make sense that you would ban a card one season because of that hero, and then not just commit to banning those cards in the next season. Like, it truly definitely is. I feel like we're trying to, this is going to sound really, I guess, like gross from a perspective of somebody who genuinely feels and cares about the well-being of everybody. I feel like we're taking into consideration people's feelings that don't actually give a shit. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I genuinely don't feel that it, and I mean this being in the Flesh and Blood community for almost 4 years now. You quite literally are talking about not wanting to make things difficult for a ban list by keeping the cards that are within the precons legal. But I think anybody with 2 brain cells could be told that that deck has 4 banned cards inside of it, and that they should replace them with these singles to make the deck fairly functional, and maybe add some stuff in there. That deck also has yellow nimblism in it, for God's sakes. Like, you're going to be changing stuff out of the deck anyway. So I think that those are the players that we're referring to, the new players, right? New players. And I'm talking like brand spanking new, never played a TCG, period. Those players. I feel like we are projecting a emotion onto them that I frankly don't see. If I were a new player and I walked into a store, and this is, again, my own opinion, if I walked into a store, no idea what Flesh and Blood was, and I said, hey, here's the deal, let me buy a Briar pre-constructed deck, right? Let me buy a Briar pre-constructed deck, because you have a Silver Age event happening, or a Silver Age Armory happening tonight. And the owner of the shop goes, of course, I can certainly let you go ahead and play this. And you can play it for just tonight, inside our armory. But just so you know, 2 cards inside of that deck are banned. Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press. So, while you can play it tonight at our armory, I would suggest these cards, because hopefully you're talking to somebody who knows how to play Flesh and Blood and knows how to find replacements for things, because if not, you can just talk to locals for it. I would suggest replacing these banned cards with these legal cards. And most, you know, there will probably be somebody at your locals that has them on hand that they can just give to you. But here we are saying that it's going to be too difficult. It's going to be too difficult for a player to buy a $20 product, open up a pack of Compendium of Wraith, and then go, I don't have any cards in order for me to replace the 4 copies of a card that are within my deck. If you're stopping that person from having the ability to be creative with their deck because they're playing with the deck as it is out of the box, and you're not willing to ban things for it, I feel like it stunts creativity, and frankly, does not allow for there to be true balance in the game. Oh, hi, Tanner. How are we doing? Hello. Talk about why... Talk about why KO. Yeah, okay. So KO getting banned is pretty cool because Wizards now don't have to worry about a Spell Void 3 arm piece frequently. They still have to worry about it in Rhinar, Tough Nut. Probably that's it. But there you go. Like, that's all you need. Rhinar isn't... You're right. Rhinar is not real. You're so correct, Tanner. You're so right. You're so right. Also, fun fact, Tanner Lee of the Cog Crankers, everybody. If you've not gotten to go see the Cog Crankers at all, I'm going to give them a shout out because they're awesome. But oh, and Leviah, the other route. That's gonna, yeah, Emberforge Gauntlet, sure, but you could also just, you know, I don't know, play Scare Strapping. So anyway, here, this is what I'm saying, is that out of the people who are currently within this chat right now, do you genuinely feel in the years that you've played Flesh and Blood, maybe you're a brand new player, maybe you've only been playing for a year, maybe you've been playing for multiple years, do you feel that a new player experience would be so incredibly ruined if cards were banned from precons at all? Or more specifically, if cards were banned from precons, but were only able to be played if you were playing the stock precon? Like what, like really, where are we at with that? I told you my sports trolley. Yeah, it's a trolley problem, but like this is at the end of the day, right? Like we have to realize that this is an onboarding event. If 85% of the Flesh and Blood community is literally shit talking a format, period, nobody is going to want to play it. No new players are going to go, oh, finally, because every new player who has not touched Flesh and Blood takes one look at Classic Constructed and says $500 deck in this economy, and that's on the cheap side. So already we're at a situation where people are bitching still about the price of Classic Constructed. So we have a budget format that said is going to have aggressive bans and aggressive balancing to make sure that it is a fun and fast format that people get to play with. And fast being that it's 30 minutes instead of an hour, like it is in CC. And it just does not feel like they're doing that. Cards being banned from precons is inevitable. It's just a matter of when. I would be personally for them being allowed only if you play the stock pre. Yes, I think most people are. Ban cards from precon and allow them to still be played in the stock precon. Like it is not hard to convey that to a guest. It's not hard to convey that to a customer, to a new player, to say you can buy this deck off the shelf, you can sleeve it up, and you can bring it to the armory, and you can play it. But like, if you're planning on updating the deck to a more like powerful version of itself that maybe isn't running Yellow Nimbalism and maybe wants to run Sigil of Voltaris, you have to remove Burn Up Shock and Lightning Press. Like, it does not at all make sense to me. Like, I don't feel like this is an issue that, like, I said this in the podcast earlier, a majority of us are adults. We know how to read. We know how to understand and be like, yeah, I absolutely will carry the Briar Precon around with me. And if I win a tournament with it, awesome, right? That just further escalates the $20 ticket to the $2 million World Tour thing. But the second you change it, then it's like, okay, like you've had to add different things in there, right? Ira was not a $20 ticket to the $2 million World Tour. Legacy of Ikaru was like $17 fucking dollars for you to buy that card. It was $40 in 2 cards in that deck. This probably shouldn't have been in the precon in the first place. Exactly. And they, you know, it's funny. They stated it in the dev talk. That's something else. If y'all have not seen the dev talk, go look at the dev talk, okay? Because the dev talk is very interesting. They speak about that. How the deck was built like a year ago and was built in this manner. And they said that if they were to build the deck again this time around, they would have removed Lightning Press and Burn Up Shock, right? That they would have removed it from the deck, because obviously they would have wanted to ban it early on in the series. But this is something that is apparently their clairvoyance can't go too far into a year, which means that either, you know, their in-house testing was how do you beat Oldhim, and Briar was able to do that with these options, but Oldhim isn't always the problem. Biggest complaint with Fab is the accessibility of the legendaries. I know they're legendaries, but come on. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the legendaries are certainly far cheaper than they were previously, Ryan, I gotta say. So there is that. But if you're talking like the generic headpieces, those are a lot. But that's obviously, if it's generic, it's going to go for more money. That's just how it is. One card 4 is high power for Sage. One card 5 is way too... Exactly. Right. Yes. One card 5 is always going to carry the more power, and it's going to make those changes. So it's just like, I think everybody would have been far more, and I do genuinely mean this, I think everybody would have been far, far, far more happy if LSS used their ban on the precon deck, or on the Briar deck, and then on top of it said, we're also going to allow for next season people to still use the Briar precon deck stock standard, but if you're not going to use it stock standard, you have to remove Lightning Press and Burnout Shock. And again, I feel like this is child's play of an ask. Like, I don't think this isn't going to be a problem. And you want to know why it's not going to be a problem? Genuinely, you have callings and you have showdowns that are going to be Silver Age, right? You have callings and showdowns that are going to be Silver Age. That's it. Everybody's saying, oh, well, maybe Worlds is going to be Silver Age and CC. And I guarantee you it isn't. Worlds is going to be the set 20 draft. The big hype set. It's going to be set 20 draft. There's no way that it's Silver Age. If it is Silver Age, sure, whatever. But like, we have to realize it's not going to be what we want it to be. Ira will be back in set 20. So like, what the fuck is the point? That's not good. That's not good viewership. So but it genuinely is one of the biggest irks, is that I feel like the company doesn't, like, I get that they want to be, you know, they mentioned it again in the LSS mentioned it in the dev talk that they want to not punish the LGSs for buying product and then being unable to sell that product because there are banned things inside of it, or that the hero is banned inside of it. And you have to realize that, like, if Briar got banned this time around instead of KO, it literally just would have been the same thing. They also still would have had decks that would have been unable to be sold because the hero is not available during the format. So, like, if you're really trying to make it about the LGSs, also, not to mention, you're going to make it about LGSs buying all this stuff and then going, okay, cool, LGSs bought a bunch of cases of these Chapter 3 Silver Age decks to, you know, sell to their players. I'm sure it's going to be a great time for everybody. And people are just going to buy the Briar deck and the Blaze deck. That's it. They're not going to buy the Gravy Bones deck. They're not going to buy the Lyeth deck. They're not going to buy the Bolton deck. They're going to buy Blaze and they're going to buy Briar. So, you know, 60% of the product that they're going to buy anyway is going to sit on the shelf unless, you know, somebody happens to want to randomly spend $20 on a deck they don't know anything about. So, Briar deck to Armory is even if Briar 8 a ban. My LGS let me play Blaze last month or so. Exactly, Aloha. I don't think it matters. from an armory perspective, there should not be this big restriction of like, you have to play. Like, I've got people who proxy at armories. I've got people who are you know, proxying like 50% of their deck because they don't have the money for the expensive warrior M's and the warrior legendaries or generics or anything of the sort. Like, it genuinely is. It's important to keep it in mind that this was back. This is back when I was playing in Illinois, Tanner. But I've even seen proxies happen now. I played against Porter not too long ago, who proxied a blue shred. A blue shred. Like, like, okay, like, sure, you can proxy a blue shred. I'm not gonna like lose my mind about it. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Reported. Get him the hell out of there. Yeah, it's like, oh, my girlfriend's on a cat rescue mission right now. But seriously, like, I don't think any LGS that I play at now would be upset with being like, okay, yeah, you can play with the Briar Precon, but nothing has to be changed from it. And like, sure, I don't expect most people to keep all 55 cards of the Briar Precon committed to memory, but like, if you never see a yellow Nimblism or these cards from your opponent's deck, like, you probably are in a spot where you're like, okay, I get it. Like, they're not playing the stock deck. You know, we can easily determine that, but we're not going to deck check people at an armory level. It shouldn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like, you can deck check somebody at the showdown. You can deck check somebody at the battlegrounds, but an armory, like, who gives a shit? You got new players to show up and buy product, and then maybe even stay in the game. That's awesome. So, yeah, that's just the whole thing. I wish there were more risks that LSS was willing to take. That wasn't, let's backpedal on things. And then let's also just put into discussion, right? Plunder Run. Yeah, right. Like, what? Like, you can't play Plunder Run, but like, what are you gonna do? You can sit there and be like, oh my god, hey, just educate them. Be like, hey, by the way, that card is really sick in Marlin, but we're not playing LL. So you just teach them. Like, like, teach them that these things are banned and these things are not, right? There's enough of us that have been playing for long enough to where if we see a new face show up at our armory, we give them everything, and everything besides the kitchen sink. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times during armories new players will show up and they'll be like, oh, I'm really interested in Dio. And people will be like, yeah, I've got 18 copies of all Mechanologist Majestics on me right now at this moment. Would you like them all? Like, it's oftentimes happening. Clean up the streets. Tanner is out here trying to play ice with these proxy folk. I can't believe you do that. I was at about 6 counters on Dot Blade, so it didn't really matter. Essence of ice. You're gross, dude. No. But absolutely. I mean, Fab is truly deeply one of the most giving communities. I mean, most people will just get, it's like even, oh, okay, I can't get you all the cards because I'm playing that hero, but do you want to borrow my deck while I play a different deck for Armory tonight? So that way you can get a better idea of what the full power hero is like. This happens all the time. And I feel like it's just not something that's talked about enough, because we see issues like this ban list, and then people are like, like, you know, this was great. And you know what the worst, honestly, worst part is, y'all, dude, they didn't even ban Soul Reaping. They didn't even ban Soul Reaping. Soul Reaping is still a legal card for you to play in Chain. They were like, yo, let's get all this shit together and let's play, you know, let's get something set up to where Chain is going to get nerfed to the ground, right? Let's get rid of Reaping Blade, because apparently it's a warrior weapon. Let's get rid of 2-cost Rune Gate stuff, and then let's get rid of a block 2 Guardwell arm piece, right? Oh, by the way, let's just keep the chain specialization that is egregious in the format. What the fuck? Unless your Armory is a newer player, came through, started playing with Precon, saw my deck, asked if he could play at the next Armory. Stick with us since and is loving the game. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Alleged. Yeah, how do I feel about Omens? I think Omens is, I don't know. I was like kind of hyped to see what Acilio and Ziggy did, and then the more we learn, the more I'm like, these decks are kind of ass. Acilio probably is like the best one to come out of it if I were to guess, only because wizard stuff is just crazy. But do I think Briar will land on Starfall, Talishar, or Scorpio? I mean, it's probably Starfall, because so the issue with Scorpio is that with Scorpio, you have to have a lightning attack on the chain link. So if you're pump, send snatch for 10, you can't send your weapon because it's snatch and not a lightning card. So that's that. Let's nerf chain hits Vincent with a steel chain. Exactly. There's no reason to do so. It's just silly stuff. Yo, what's up, Arena? Have you even commented yet on the weird wording of the BNR? So I haven't really commented on it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. It sounds, the BNR sound very aggressive. That's the way I'll put it. It sounded very aggressive. It sounded like there was a lot of what's the word I'm thinking of here? Vitriol to the words that were used in the BNR. Of course, though, most of those words were for the CC ban list. I can give two shits about that. None of that changed, right? Remembrance didn't get banned. T-Toxin didn't get banned. I hope you're ready to play Marionette or Victor for the remainder of your competitive season until either one of them LL. Them's the breaks. Coming off like that to a customer base. I don't know. I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, we all compare card games. Like, we all compare card games all the time. Like, you know, there are times in which you take a look at a card and you're just like, oh, it's named just like this Magic card. Or, here you go, this is a card that works a lot like this effect that's in Magic. Oh, this tournament structure isn't like Magic's tournament structure or Yu-Gi-Oh's tournament structure. It's a little bit like this, right? And so we always make comparisons to other games. So I don't think it was like off key for them to do that. I do think that they quite literally just absolutely shit talked an entire game, because they're like, our non-rotating format matters. Their non-rotating format is a sham and will never be whatever their rotating format will ever become. And I mean, they could be talking about a million things, but I think they're probably talking about, like, I don't know, One Piece or Magic or whatever. Imagine banning cards to prevent your product from being unable to sell due to a vote ban, and then unbanning those cards with no shame. Exactly. Like, there's no reason for them to have done that. There's no reason for them to have unbanned it. It shouldn't have mattered. God damn, the crankers are all here. Jesus Christ. Hi, Braxton. Yeah. Tanner's getting a list together. I outed Porter for proxying into me. So now Porter's gonna get a slap on the wrist and probably an aggressive pounce, which is what Tanner will be doing to Braxton later. So I think there is a different in this wording, in that it feels very small time to feel like you're fighting against other card games. Big games will mention others, but not like that, if it makes sense. I mean, like, it really does. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, it shouldn't be always that you're comparing yourself to another card game, right? You should just be happy knowing that you are your own card game. But I think with all the different card games that are coming up, I mean, Riftbound is doing the most insane numbers you could ever think of for a card game that only has 3 sets. And granted, it's because it's a well-known IP, and Flesh and Blood is not. But even still, Flesh and Blood has been growing consistently, but we still have yet to get a 1,000 person calling. Like new people joining the fray left, right, and center. But for every, like, 2 people that enter, 3 people seem to want to leave, at least temporarily. But casual homies are more mad about KO ban than the Briar stuff. The whole thing is a bit shit show. Interesting. I have another season with KO at lower power. I mean, I do think that I don't know if you heard in the dev talk, they definitely would have banned beaten trackers if KO lived this format, for sure. Which I still think they should ban anyway, because again, you can do the same thing in Rhinar. It's not beholden to just KO. It's just KO did it better. Arxis is not the case. Arxis, do not, again, I will reiterate exactly what I said earlier. Please, for the love of everything that is good in this world, do not even assume that there was some kind of voter rigging scenario. Okay? This is not what that is. I believe the issue is that a bunch of people got into Silver Age, played during the pro quests, realized that KO was really powerful and busted as all hell, proceeded to never play the format ever again, and then when they were given the option to vote, they said, well, I remember KO being really powerful, and that's probably my pick. And then, boom. That's it. Well, in CC, I don't have one that I want to play in CC. So yeah, I mean, if you're joining heroes that aren't in CC right now, but they are in LL, that's what Sage is for, too, is like a pseudo LL, right? Ashwing's chat. I had the chance to say hi to live, normally not possible. Oh, well, welcome on in, Knob. How are you? Hopefully you're doing good. I'm happy to be choosing a good time that's good for the European time zones too. I don't know what it is. I feel like every single time I live stream, I mean, I've been doing content creation for like 12 years. I feel like every time I go live, it's always around the time that's like perfect for Europe in that general area. And I'm like, this is awesome. But yeah, like I think if I were to guess, Flesh and Blood is LSS is probably a bit scared of the growth of like Riftbound and how they do their things. But it's, I mean, I don't know. I am like, it just sucks. Like, I'd much rather they've broken their rule and just said, we chose 6 heroes to ban this time around. We chose 6 heroes to ban, and they're going to all be banned indefinitely, right? Kano, KO, Ira, Briar, Oldhim, and I don't know. That's probably it, actually. Probably 5 heroes. Those 5 heroes, they get a ban. And they don't get a bench. They get a ban. And on Chain, the other one, right? They get a ban. Those heroes get out of the format forever and are never playable heroes in the format. And I would much rather that be what they do than continue to try and dance on eggshells around the concept of balancing a 20 health format, which is already incredibly hard to do. Like, you can't just wake up and go, we're gonna ban 25 cards today. Hope everybody's ready for that. Like, it's gonna make your format boring. So I don't know. So thinking about which deck I should buy next week. Yeah, absolutely, Knob. Well, hey, I got a great idea for a deck you should buy next week. It's probably Briar. You should probably pick up the Briar deck, because that is for sure what you're going to want to get. Because it is by far probably going to be the most powerful deck in the format, I'd imagine. So, but I mean, I think that there should have been far more aggressive things they did with this ban list, and they just did not do it. You know, they're definitely thinking more that they're going to hurt their player base by doing something more aggressive than help it. And as somebody who's a big proponent of the budget gaming in the space, like, I think that it's important that actually, like, that you're able to be a little bit more aggressive with it, because it doesn't cost a player any amount of money, theoretically, to replace cards inside of a deck or to play things that are, like, you know, a bit different. So feels like she's missing something. Probably. Blaze does look like a lot of fun, though. I'll probably have to check out Blaze. I mean, it's either, if I'm going to choose a wizard to play next season, it's probably going to be Icelander. But having Blaze available also is pretty good. So a month after deck release and then ban it after it sells out. Jeez Louise. Yeah, we could, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could play Chain. If you're looking to pick up just like local, just like singles and stuff for it, then Chain is also a great pick. Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real. If you're playing a Runeblade this season, you're probably good. Like, you're probably going to be fine. Produce new versions of those heroes to replace them. We have multiple Bravos, Dorinthias, and Rakis by a new balanced chain. I mean, let's be so for real. Like, it's not that we need them. Like, sure, it'd be cool to get new ones, but, like, eventually there will be new ones, right? Chain the hero will eventually more than likely come back, although I can't remember if his lore said he died or not. But, like, it will eventually happen. It's just not right now. And it's fine, because you have several spiritual successors to those heroes that exist within the Flesh and Blood space already. Ban this fist like they're waiting for the next round season to force their hand. Supplemental draft format. We'll see the worlds instead of Sage. That's what I'm saying. Is I think you're gonna play IAR draft at Worlds. You're not gonna play Sage because we know that Ira was best deck in format, and she's banned for this season, which means that if Sage was going to be happening for Worlds, it would be happening next season as well. Ira would be legal in that format, and we don't want that. So hold on 1 second. Okay, guess what, everybody? I'm back. I hope you didn't miss me. Hi. Apologies for the delay. I've returned. My girlfriend texted me earlier and said, I'm on a cat rescue mission. She found a cat at a park nearby. And I was like, okay, she's probably just dropping off at the shelter, but she brought it back here and wanted me to grab a can of cat food for the cat. So it is the cat is all good. It's a domesticated cat. They have an Apple Air tag, but we scanned the Air tag and the Air tag doesn't actually tell us a full phone number to contact. It's just the last 4 digits of a phone number. So we can't even call the people who own the dang thing. So she's just going to go back to where she found it and hang out in the parking lot and wait for the owner to find it, because this is not a cat distribution system thing. I'm almost certain of it. This is a domesticated animal that somebody else owns and would be very sad if they did not come back home tonight. So we are doing our darndest. The cat does not have a chip. She already brought the cat to a vet. The vet did not find a chip. The cat has an Apple AirTag, which is notably not helpful. So that's a thing. Nope, and that was thunder. So if I lose internet at all, just know that it was good to know you. Jesus Christ. Did you? That was nuts. Jesus Christ. God dang. A firework just went on right outside my window. Whew. Okay, well, there's that, I guess. We are so back. We are so back. Thank you all for being patient. I do appreciate it. I know that was a pretty sudden thing that I just did not tell any of you what I was doing, but y'all came through. Yeah, it's true. At least it wasn't 5 newborn kittens. 5 newborn kittens, I would imagine the vet takes in, because obviously they need to get spayed, neutered, the whole 9, whatever, you know. Well, maybe they don't at that point. Maybe they need to still wait, but it is interesting. So Tuesday next got banned in Silver Age. Should I make Chain? Because I don't want a deck that always gets banned on the loop. I mean, you certainly should be playing some form of Runeblade. Vincett's probably the worst. So, yeah, exactly. Like, that's like a vet will do all that. Like, that's not on me. So, and this is a really cute cat too. So, shame that it's owned by somebody. We couldn't get another cat in here anyway. We already have my 19-year-old cat Bubba that you saw earlier is like already having a conniption with the one that we have already. So I'm actually most upset about Vigorous Smash-Up not being unbanned. I mean, Vigorous Smash-Up is really just insane, I think. Like Rhinar would abuse the hell out of that card, so it's definitely not. And Tough Nut would too, so it's definitely a good thing that it did not come back into the format. So, yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of things that like could have come back. I'm mad that they didn't ban Runechant Generation. They instead banned like RuneGate cards instead. Doesn't make any sense. Apparently hoping for shunts to return. I don't think there's any way shunts ever return. Shunts are so overrated, it's insane. Recent from existence. Yeah, I mean, like, did you see how excited he was? Did you see how excited? The king is back. The king is back. This whole thing. Like, I love, you know, and I love a good, silly amount of humor. You know, I love being a little silly guy. And being like, yeah, this is the king. The king is back. And it's like, shut up. Shut up. Like, this is not a thing. We shouldn't be celebrating that a legitimate design fault is what is going to bring people into your format. You know what I mean? Like, they already said that they were never going to print chain in CC ever again. But they're like, you know what? Budget format? Let them go crazy. Right? Like, take 6 heroes. KO, Briar, Chain, Kano, Oldhim, and what the fuck? What did I say the other one was? Ira. Take these 6 heroes, never put them in the format ever again. I mean, genuinely just take them out of the format. It's not gonna, people aren't gonna complain. People aren't gonna be sad that they can't play budget format chain, right? They're gonna adapt and they're gonna go, cool, I'll just play Vincent instead. Because you get to play Vincent at full power because chain doesn't exist. And most of the rune blades don't exist. Like, just do us a favor. Take the overpowered heroes in the format and just remove them. Don't do this benching nonsense. Don't you know, twiddle around with the fact that, like, you might get to play this hero 3 seasons later from now. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It should not be the case. Like, these heroes just gotta go. Ban Kodachis? Yeah, or just ban Ira. I mean, Ira's the one abusing the Kodachis. You don't see Katsu doing very well. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ira's the problem. Like, it is very evident when a hero power is the problem. And Ira is one of those people. Ira, Briar, KO, Chain, all of these heroes that have egregious hero powers that allow them to play decks at a better rate than everybody else. So it's mostly just Chain Briar that need to be on. No, I think they all do. I think they all do. I think you could call, I think what you should do is you should take all the heroes that did super well in Blitz that are currently available in Sage, that have LL'd in Blitz events in the past, and ban them all. Just take like 50% of the current Silver Age hero pool and cut it in half. That way it's like fresh. You're able to play things that like you normally wouldn't before. So the biggest tip, Sam? Like, I don't think people realize that like chain players are not just like, it's not like chain's an auto win deck. A chain player or a chain deck in the hands of a good player, a professional player, is really not going to lose to many things at all. Like, you have Go Again printed on the hero text. Very different than Blitz. Well, because again, a lot of them are based around hero power. a lot of the heroes who LL'd because of their hero powers and their card pools. And believe it or not, it's most of the heroes that you've already seen, right? The heroes that we talk about: Ira, Briar, Oldhim, Icelander, Kano. These are all heroes that we've seen leave Blitz. Represents 70% of the Auckland Showdown amount. I believe it. At least 50%. At least 50%. Like, don't get me wrong. If it ends up being the case in which players want to try out these heroes, and it's maybe let's give them a shot, right? Let's see, right? Because we don't really have the data to showcase that Chain and Briar are going to actually be best decks in the format. It might be what happened with KO happens with the both of these heroes. And I don't think that that's the case. Like, I don't think there will be the case. I think you're going to see Briars able to beat Chains. Chains are able to beat, like, Icelanders. Icelanders are able to beat Briars. And then Oldhim sometimes pops in there, and then Blaze sometimes pops in there. And it's like, okay, that's your meta. Like, that's going to be your meta. Because, I mean, Fi isn't doing anything different. Fi got no new cards from the set, so Fi is literally the same deck as they were previously. So anything that has Essence of Light, shit, you can play Aurora. God forbid Aurora ends up being actually the best one. Not new Aurora, but the old Aurora. That's why she hit LL and CC. I mean, her card pool is wide. That's not why she hit LL and CC. She hit LL and CC because, like, it was just a premier aggro deck where you could load 2 arrows with her weapon. So it really was Voltaire. If I'm going to be so for real, Voltaire was the problem, not which only Lexi could run. That was causing a problem, not the fact that she had a bunch of card pool choices. Because really, at the end of the day, she played a bunch of 0-for-4 arrows that she loaded into her arsenal, and that's it. And Codex of Frailty. Oh, God. Oh, excuse me. Can't wait for Lexi 2 with the new gem. I don't know. Check the format. I'm hopeful. Yeah, I mean, and it's good to be hopeful, Knob. I don't want to, for what it's worth, I don't want my sayings, what I'm saying about Silver Age and the current ban list and all this, to dissuade people from playing Silver Age, right? I don't want people to go, if Alex says that Silver Age is in a bad spot, I shouldn't play the format. I think everybody should at least try it and find something that might work out best for you. But I'm going to be so fucking for real. This is going to be another season of aggro slop versus block slop. And then people are going to forget about Silver Age. They're going to forget about it. And then 4 months down the line, when set 20 comes out, people are going to be like, oh, that's right. Now we don't have nearly anybody voting because nobody's doing Silver Age armories anymore because the local player base doesn't like the ban list. So if I'm not the only one who feels that way. Yeah, I mean, it probably D-line. I mean, I would only believe, right? So I think it's going to be, like I said, this is unfortunately a situation where I believe a lot of people are looking at it like this, in which it's kind of like, you know, think of the longest running anime in the world. I think it's One Piece. No, it's Detective Conan, I'm pretty sure. And imagine telling somebody the series is super good. It's absolutely phenomenal, right? Just peak fantasy in general, peak detective stuff, whatever it might be. Peak entertainment. But you have to get through 8 seasons first in order for you to really understand it. And that's how I'm feeling about Silver Age right now. Is that we are going to go through some growing pains. We are going to go through shit decisions on bans and all this other nonsense. We're going to see that. But the fact that we have to wait so long for it to be the format that everybody wants it to be, at some point they're just not going to want to continue to support it, right? Because this year they have all of the showdowns are Silver Age and all of the battlegrounds are Silver Age. But next year it could be something completely different. And that is like, at that point, if they try to do anything different, if they're just like, oh, we'll make them CC instead, and then they take one look and see that the CC, turnout is insanely high for these battlegrounds compared to when they were Sage, they're going to make a decision and they're going to say, hey, our player base really likes CC over any other format. And they're going to kill Silver Age. So again, I'm not gonna claim that I'm like a designer, that I'm a game designer and I have all this insane amount of wealth of amazing ideas that I think I could do better than LSS. Like, I think that LSS is doing what they can. I realize I'm seeing myself here, so you can see me here. Maybe now the thunder's not happening, you don't know. But it is, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of disappointing. It's just disappointing, right? That this was a time for LSS to be incredibly aggressive with bans, incredibly aggressive with ways to balance a power level, and instead they skipped over significant cards to ban. I personally feel like they chose the wrong cards to ban, and because they could have banned things like Malefic Incantation, or Runeblood Incantation, or Read the Runes, or Spellblade Assault. They didn't do all that. They instead removed the 2-cost gates, which hurts Vincent more than anything. So, but you still have Deathly Wail, which is the one you want anyway, right? Deathly Wail makes rune chance. So, sad truth would probably make Sage a bigger format. We need something TCG players hate, power creep, and then some good BR decisions. I power creep isn't exactly it. I mean, like, we don't need power creep. We're already playing with CC powered cards in Sage. It's weird that Sage is already out the door. I mean, of course, right? I think a lot of people are. I think the issue here, personally, is that I don't think that the decisions made with this BNR are going to have people that were already not excited about Silver Age start being excited about it. Period. I've had people message me stating, "I'm sorry for your loss," effectively. Because, I mean, myself, DM Armada made a video, Steven made a video talking about this, on how there's like so much stuff that just like does not track, that I don't know. There's so much stuff that doesn't track. And players who already were not excited about the format, who didn't want to play it, right? The reason they were playing it at all was because they were doing ProQuest stuff. And they were going to the PT that was in Yokohama. Right? That is the only reason they were playing Silver Age at all. But they're not going to their armories for Silver Age. Our Silver Age armories have a fairly low turnout compared to our CC armories. Our CC armories are like 18 to 20 people strong almost every single night. But if it's a Sage armory, 6 people? Like... I don't know. Super easy to get into what Sage is, or make enough afford to make it worth playing Sage. I mean, everything. This format has everything it needs to be a successful format, a successful parallel format for CC, right? You have people. This is the format for parents, for adults with, you know, other adult responsibilities. Maybe they work 6 days a week and can't go out to all these armories. And when they can go out to an armory, the armory has to be like 2 hours long and that's it. Like people who are busy paying for adult things, you know, they have mortgages and they have you know, other responsibilities that cost them more money, and this format allows them to still play the game that they love so much without having to sacrifice hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to play Classic Constructed instead, right? Because I can't tell you how many people are getting into Flesh and Blood and are like, Classic Constructed, that sounds sick, let me buy an armory deck, and then once a week I'm going to spend $150 and upgrade that armory deck. And then we're going to be at such a good spot that we're just going to be able to play CC. And then they get, like, their car is totaled. And then they have to sell all of their stuff to get their car in working order. Which means that now they have nothing. You know, they can downgrade back to that $40 armory deck if they really wanted to keep playing CC. Or you could build a multitude of decks for Silver Age and do just fine. Right, exactly, right? I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people have gotten into Silver Age because it's expensive, or because it's expensive to get into CC. So, weird use of Sage to defend CC being too expensive. And I mean, you're probably going to see that. I'm going to be so fucking for real. I don't think Silver Age, or I don't think Classic Constructed is expensive. I'm going to be so absolutely 110% fucking for real. I don't think it's expensive. And this is coming from somebody who is not in a management position. I'm not in a, you know, CEO position, whatever. Like, I don't think it's that expensive. I lost the plot. I mean, I just like it's a hobby that I'm willing to put money into if I want to do it. I'm not like, you know, I'm not sacrificing my daily life to afford to buy cards. I understand that I'm in a position that most other people aren't. But I'm not like, you know, $40 off one card is reasonable. I mean, you can do that in Pokemon. The only difference is that the one card you sold. Yo, what's, oh, this has got to be Pierce. What's up, Pierce? Like, you gotta imagine that. I just like, is it expensive in retrospect? Sure, right? But so is many hobbies. Like, that's just how it is. Great job with the pre-cons. They're really good, not over the edge and tunable. Yeah. I also love Yu-Gi-Oh! And most of the time there's not a singular card I'm dumping on that much on. Sure. I mean, I'm not saying that it needs to be expensive, right? Realize that this is the case. I'm not saying that CC needs to be expensive because of X, Y, or Z or whatever. But I think they need to reconsider how they look at Sage. Tries to be a format of newbies and casuals, but expects to be high committal with the competitiveness. But a lot of LSS's decisions lately, like with the bans, tells otherwise. I mean, I don't know what Silver... I mean, I also don't, again, right? Consider it a hot take. It's probably not even that hot of a take. I don't think that Silver Age needs to be a competitive format. Like, I don't think we ever need to see the thing at a tier 4 event. Ever. Ever. Period. Ever. I don't think we ever need to see it. Sure, a calling or a showdown? Sure. Right? And that's competitive in its own specific way. But I don't think the format should be built around a competitive nature. I think the format should be onboarding first and then balanced to be a fun experience for everybody. Because, like, we already are dealing with the issue that there's like 100% to 0% matches in Silver Age as it is, and this did not change that. So, like, why does it matter? Like, we shouldn't be putting so much effort into making it competitive when it's just not gonna be ever. Like, the people have spoken time and time and time again that Silver Age or any low health format should not be the pinnacle of competitive play, period. And I don't see that changing. It's been like that for 7 years. Like, I don't think that we should be doing that. Because of price and because they've felt the game needs to do something. I mean, players can leave because of price. It's a valid thing for them to leave because of price, Arena. The difference is that if you consider this a hobby that is not necessary for your life, you know, it's not a life necessity, right? It's not like insulin. Like, you're paying money for something that you're using for entertainment, you know? Think of how much money you've spent on Netflix over the course of the years. Like, you don't blink an eye at your Netflix subscriptions, right? So, at least that's how I like to see it. But maybe that's too out of touch. Life thing, you know what you're getting into when you play Fab. I think the problem with hero-based TCGs, you can't balance everything. CC should be more available for people to get in. The hurdle is big money-wise, even if it's a hobby. You can play a CC deck for $100. Do you want to win every single one of your matches all the time? You maybe need to spend another $400. Like, at an armory level, it shouldn't matter the speed at which you are getting to the most competitive version of your deck, right? At an armory level, it should not matter, right? If you are prepping for a Pro Quest or an RTN, that is different because you are going in to compete for a spot at a competitive event. So if you want to compete with other people who have spent their money on the game, then you need to also be ready to do that. But at an armory level, you're just vibing. That's vibes based. There should not be a cutthroat community of people who are trying to, you know, kill each other in the back parking lot for winning an extra gem pack? Like, what are we talking about here? Actually do blink an eye at Netflix subscriptions. That's why I unsubscribed. Well, see, there you go, right? And if you're Arena, if you're in that position and you cannot afford to do these things, then you shouldn't, right? Like, it's, you know, you can play Flesh and Blood at whatever budget you need it to be. If you only ever want to put $200 into Flesh and Blood, you can do that. You don't have to. Nobody is forcing you to put more money into your deck. You know what I mean? Nobody's forcing you to do that. If you want to compete with people who are buying cards inside their deck, like, you're gonna have to buy the cards. You're playing for Armory, buy an Armory. Exactly. Like, that's exactly it. I think the difference is I can't afford it, but if I don't think it's worth the value, exactly. That, dude, you all listening right now at this moment are in charge of your own futures. Like, if you find something is way too expensive for you to buy, if I take a look at Blade Flurry right now, I'm not going to buy a copy of Blade Flurry. I don't care how much I want to play Hatchet's Dorinthia. I don't care how much I want to play freaking Kasai. I don't care. I'm not going to buy Blade Flurry at that price. Period. And what will happen eventually is Blade Flurry is either going to get a reprint, in which we are going to see the old copies go down in price, or Warrior is going to become irrelevant again as other classes become meta, and Blade Flurry will go down to a reasonable price in which I will then purchase my copies. This is literally how Flesh and Blood has been for the past 5+ years. So, like, if somebody is brand new to the game and they pick up the Olympia Armory deck when it comes out and they're like, oh, I need all these Warrior staples. Like, you don't need them. Learn to play the game first. Get comfortable with things. Borrow cards from locals. Again, we mentioned this earlier in the stream. You can borrow cards from locals. Like, so many locals are willing to just let you borrow cards so you can get more familiar with things. So, what does competitive have to do with pricing? Other TCGs can do that as well without paying $500 for tier 1 decks. Yeah, but other TCGs are also, like, not trying to keep a competitive scene. Or not a competitive scene. Yeah, a competitive scene. Right? Like, most others are not doing what Flesh and Blood's doing for its competitive scene. And if they are, it's like Riftbound. And Riftbound can afford to print everything into the ground because guess what? They've got Riot money. And they get to do Riot money things. OP for a while comp, and if you don't bling out your comp decks, you pay between 70 and 90 bucks. That's good. That's fine. Like I said, there's always a thing, right? Everybody's got a budget. Everybody has a budget. Everybody has a budget. And I'm not saying that you can't play Flesh and Blood on that budget. People who say they can't play Flesh and Blood for $70 to $90 are lying to themselves, because they can. Right? You can play Flesh and Blood for $70 to $90. Are you going to go win a large tournament of 52 people where everybody there is cracked out of their mind and skilled at the game, and they put their money and time into practicing with their deck when you spent $70 and you've only been playing for 3 weeks? No. So, you never won a game in 6 months? I don't know, tell you. Are they learning the game? Like, if they genuinely don't want to grow with the game and they're fine with where they are right now and they don't want to spend any more money on the game, then that's where they are. They'll have to wait for a reprint to come out, or I don't know, play Silver Age, where you can play a little bit more higher power for lower cost, right? I consider it higher power because technically it's the same, you hit the same ceiling as everybody else does for the same cost, you know? Which is again why I enjoy budget gaming too, because budget Flesh and Blood, like Silver Age, allows people to do that. They, allows them to go, I only want to commit $40 to this. And it's like, cool. A new player isn't going to give a shit about Briar. A new player is going to go, sick, Briar. I'll play that hero. They came in a precon. Or I'll play Chain. Or, you know, I'll go look up top meta decks of Silver Age Omens of the Third Age season. And they'll go look it up and they'll pull everything into TCG Player and they'll buy everything. $30. You can go play to your locals, play your armory. But how be? Use to print AB in the armory decks. I've had someone's armory last second before armory. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the hell they haven't done it yet. If they can print a sideboard for the Silver Age precons, they can print a sideboard for the armory decks, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know why they haven't. 2 to 3 months of going to armories before I was able to win consistency. Yeah. I mean, it just happens, you know? If Briar's obnoxious enough, they'll change their policy and ban some stuff from Briar. Right. Like, you know, I've seen people who have gone 0-3 at armories who have had a $1,500 deck. Unblinged. It's been like $1,500. And they've lost 3 rounds at Classic Constructed. Like, this isn't something that's like a synonymous directly to people who don't have money. Not like people who don't have money are the only ones who are losing at Armory Nights. How new players know what else is considered too far. I agree. I do also wish that. I wish they told us a little bit more. I wish they weren't just like, hey, we banned you know, we banned these cards. By the way, you know, we could have banned Kano for another second season, but whatever, like. Yeah. God dang. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you can just get rocked, and it doesn't matter the cost of your deck. It matters of you as the skill of a player, right? If you are learning your matchups, you can take a precon deck and at least get a win, right? Maybe 2, right? There was the whole thing of when the KO Armory deck came out. I think it was out in Singapore somewhere. Somebody literally was like, okay, this kid who like just started playing a week ago, they put 3 Blood Rush Bellow inside of that Armory deck, and the kid went like 3-1 at the event at the Armory. Like, yeah, prodigy level shit right there, honestly. Like, brute life, hashtag brute life. But like, that's like a $50 deck. And it went 3-1 in an armory. So all I'm saying is that your skill as a player is so much more valuable than the cost of the cards. Do the cards you have in your deck help? Yes. If you're playing Assassin and you're not playing T-Toxin, you know, it's going to feel bad. But it doesn't mean that you can't play Assassin. You can't play Flesh and Blood. Right? That you're banned from playing Flesh and Blood because you couldn't buy 3 copies of Tarantula Toxin. It just means you have to adapt to play something else that does nearly the same thing, i.e. Shred. And, you know, sure, it doesn't pump a dagger. But you got what I'm saying. Also, hi, Nora. How are you? I think we'll lose and you win and feels bad. To fix just costs a lot. It just doesn't help game growth at all. Then let people borrow cards. I don't tell you. Sell them the cards at 50%. Right? If you have cards that you're not using and a player wants to get into the game and you feel like the cards are too expensive, you should then just sell the card to the player for 50% off. If you truly feel that way, you as a player can help somebody do that. You know, that can be your good deed of the day. but like all of the numbers of the cards pricing are all inflated by players. It's got nothing to do with like LSS logging into TCG Player and being like, Crown of Providence, $200. Boom. Good shit. It's a big stage event we had. We're calling those decks lotto tickets. Yeah, right. And Duke's deck skill comp. Yeah. Street Fighter, you can practice and win your PS4 controller. You don't need a $1,000 arcade stick to win. Exactly. Yeah. Good, good. I'm glad to hear you good, Nora. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat here, so. Yeah, multiple people got T4 precons. Insane. And their BNR in February, they said they're not going to explain stage bans because they want players to explore the format on its own merit, which is problematic. Yeah, I mean, I do think that they should at least explain a little bit about why they chose to not choose Runechant Generation, but whatever. I guess Florian still continues to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Tanner, you do good deeds. You absolutely do. Skill is more important, but what helps me is knowledge is play the matchups, but I can't win either, or my window to win goes down 20%. Because I can't buy equipment and Majestics and stuff, make it even worse experience for me. I mean, have you played on Talishar with the cards that you don't own? Have you determined that the only way for your deck to function is with those cards and there's no other way? Like, you can be creative with a deck, you know? Players pick the price, but LSS can fix that. It also is a bit much to expect every player to be able to do something like that and sell cards at comp. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game, everybody. It is a game. If you have a $35 card, but you see somebody who wants to get that card into their deck, they can't afford $35, they can afford $20. Are you really going to sit there and go, oh my God, my $15 I'm not going to make on this card. I have to make every dollar back. I have to make sure it trades up or down to whatever I need. This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Like, just like hand out bulk Majestics to people. Hand out, there's like a bajillion Majestics that are on TCG Player, 33 pages of TCG Player Majestics and Legendaries that are all under $10. And nobody's buying those. Nobody's buying them at all. They're only buying what is in the list that they found from a top 8 deck from a tournament, and they see that number up in the top right. That's what they do. They take a look. They go, oh, okay, cool. What do we do here? We go on Fabrary, right? And then we go to decks, and then we go to tournament. And what do we got? Okay, so we got to the Sunday Showdown. These are all Silver Age decks. Okay. So I'll just like take one of these decks, and then I just go over here, take a peek. Awesome. First place Oldham deck, $40. Sweet. There we go. Right, we're good to go. But this is all they do, right? And then you take a look, and they're like, okay, well, let's maybe look at something else. Let's take a look at the Calling Sao Paulo third place Victor deck, and they go, oh, that number's a lot. I can't play this game. That's crazy. Also, hi, Steven. How are you? Welcome on in. I watched your video on the same thing. I don't know how we got on the topic of price point. I think it just ended up being the case that people were upset with Sage that we ended up talking about price, but... I was given Okonos from a Jarl deck, and I would pay the guy off whenever I had the income. Not everyone is nice like that, but people will let you borrow stuff. It means you'll stick around. Exactly. And I have been in those situations. Like, people have given me cards to borrow so that I could use them for events. Matter of fact, my top 8 Huntsman ProQuest results would not have been possible if I did not have 3 Ripple Aways to borrow from a local that wasn't playing in them. Like, I didn't need to go buy $35 copies of Ripple Away. I could just borrow them from people who were not going to be in the event. And that's that. So about Briar. Oh, about Briar, Steven. Let me freaking tell you. What a ban list, right? We've been talking about it for like 2 hours now, but I've heard your thoughts. They align a lot with mine, in which it kind of is insane. There's a lot of things that they didn't hit. There's something on your video that I also realized you didn't touch on the fact they didn't ban Soul Reaping. So while they attempted to nerf Chain to the Ground, they missed a whole card. Borrowing cards is go to when your locals are here. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And I think I've been able to do that more locally with Flesh and Blood than I ever could with Magic. Without taking major step backs if you have no budget. And that's fair. I mean, listen, if cards end up dropping 50% in price overnight, you know, it's whatever. But like we even saw like reprints happened with a lot of these cards, and the only time it was ever drastic like that is with like Felling of the Crown. Right? Felling of the Crown was like $60 a copy before they announced a reprint. And then it went down to like $30 a copy. And then the set came out and it was like, oh, it's still an M. So you're able to find like 2 in a box pretty much. So now the price is shot to the ground, and now it's $5 for a copy of Felling of the Crown. Probably less at this rate. But, you know, like, there are still versions of Felling of the Crown that are expensive, but it's because they're rarer. Right? I'm always fine with cards being inexpensive if it means there's a rare version that is going to go for significantly more. So here, I have no community because I have nobody who is interested in the game. Ah, well, I mean, it is something that you can just kind of grow yourself. Luckily, if you ended up finding people if you can find people at a game store who are willing to even try Flesh and Blood, then it's always good. But I understand that not everybody's going to have an LGS available to them. So yeah, cold foil felling is very rare. Very, very rare. But those are the things, right? Like, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with cards that are non-foil getting an insane print run and then having expensive versions of cards that are like alternate art, extended art, cold foil versions of themselves be significantly harder to pull and more expensive. Because that would allow for that accessibility into the game. But I'm not gonna lie, if you compare this to any other hobby that people have in the world, I think $1,000 for a deck, not world ending. Even if you don't even consider $1,000, right? If you spent $500 on a deck, you're probably in a pretty okay spot to play at your armory, like and like at least win a game. You know, if you can play Prism for $600, and she's due to LL, but I don't suggest buying into heroes that are that close to LL, obviously. So Sage, I don't know, you're not gonna lie. Yeah, and I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard. I think it's one of the things is the hardest thing about Silver Age is getting classic constructed players to play it, because they don't want to. They don't want to play it. People who are diehard about classic, you know, Tanner, tell him. Tanner, you're still here. Go ahead. Tell him. Why is it that you don't play Silver Age? Games with a barely modified Azalea army deck when I started and I couldn't even afford codices. Not the easiest question to answer. I mean, that's fair. And obviously, I don't mean to put you on the spot there, Tanner. You don't actually have to answer if you don't want to. But I imagine you share the same sentiment with several other people I've spoken to locally about why they don't want to play Silver Age. And it's because regardless of the budget side of things, there are too many 100-0 matches. Like, playing Florian into Oldhim, you might as well go get lunch. You can't win that deck. You can't win against that deck, period. There is just not a way that you're able to do that. And that's bad. That's something that LSS needs to balance. And we're not seeing that balance happen. We're instead seeing the opposite, where now we're introducing more 100-0 matchups, which is not good. We don't like that. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. Like, CC, you at least can probably pair most into anything, and you're like, okay, it's like a 70-30, right? It's like a 70-30. But, like, let's be so for real. You're, like, you're not dealing with a 100-0 ever. The only time you are put in a 100-0 scenario is when Acilio draws their natty combo turn 0 after setting up multiple sigils, and then you send no disruption at them, and then they go, cool, I have the combo, die. That's a 100-0, but that's variance and not actually like a statistic that this deck will always beat this other deck every single time forever. So Super Wing 0 in action CC, I feel like I get with my full value. So macro game strategy. I play Flesh and Blood for the long-term macro strategy of each game, and Silver Age is not a format that allows for it in depth as much as the game. Yeah. I think like a hero that does that, your macro strategy, right, is Florian, for example. Right? Florian's whole thing is block out your opponent's stuff, gather up rune chants, and then eventually make sure that you're able to keep an attack action to send at your opponent for the combo, right? Like, that is your goal, right? That is your quest, is statistically find out how many rune chants it's going to take to kill your opponent, and then send those rune chants at them when you've stacked up enough and you're just about to die. Like, and that's exactly, I know your game style, Tanner. Like, it very much so is like survive to the end, stack your deck to be the 10 best cards inside of it, and then kill your opponent. So, yeah. Kind of a pain in the ass. So, oh, Tanner, I'm just seeing your response to me on Discord. Did you still want me to call you? Sit down and enjoy a nice 2-turn blowout game because you sat down unlucky with what you sat across. Yeah. And that's it, right? It's a roulette. Yeah, we got it all there. It's a roulette. It's a roulette. And that's truly what it is. It's a roulette. You have you don't know what you're going to sit across, and when you sit across it and they flip over a hero that's a 100% matchup for them into you, and you cannot win no matter what cards you put in your deck, you shake hands, you go get lunch. Like, that's not Flesh and Blood. That's not good. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit. I don't want that here. I don't want that. I think Sage could be a cool format for my board game friends that like comp to player games. CC could be a bit intimidating. And I think it's a great way to get into the game. Like, I think it's a great way to get into the game. It's super cheap. You can run like like 5 games in the same time it would take you to run a classic constructed game almost. And like, you're not dealing with super convoluted, majestic combo pieces. Like, a lot of the cards in the format are like very basic text. And it's just about the math that you're able to represent to your opponent. So, as measured draw my late, just bang it. That's so it's all right. It's all right, Piers. Trust me. Banning Ira is better. It's better, right? Because Ira allows you to send Kodachi for 2. No other ninja gets to do that. So that's why I think it's fine. I'd rather Ira go than not, than Kodachi's go. But that's my take on that. So that's how we go through Thema. Draw my Thema needs to go. Thema's fine. Thema's fine. Don't talk shit about Thema, Necro. We can't be doing all that. I need that card to beat Tanner. Except guess what? It doesn't matter. Like, I'm so gonna be like, I'm not even gonna begin to, well, I guess I should begin to crash out about Dromai. The reason Dromai was so good into Wizards back in the day is because Wizards couldn't fucking target a dragon worth dick. And now they can. Now they get to go, Aether Sling for 4, tap your opponent, or, you know, freaking, well, I think Aether Sling is a hero, am I right? Aether Sling. Oh, to any target. Sorry. You remember this fucking card? So you can just play it, tap your hero to get go again, kill Themai, and then proceed to send the biggest bomb at your opponent on their turn, because they're gonna have to spend 2 fucking resources to do this. This card's insane. Like, what the literal fuck? Print more Haboob. Braxton, I swear to God. And you to be serious. So, all I'm saying, if you want to dip your toes into Silver Age, right? Play a Runeblade. Don't play Block Slop, frankly, because playing Block Slop means that you're gonna get paired into a Florian and you're gonna fucking cry. And then Blaze is also just like, Blaze is just gonna be insane. Like, it's gonna be like, hee hee ha ha, we got rid of Kano. Nope, doesn't fucking matter, die anyway. Kitchen table jank as Silver Age can be fun. Absolutely it can be, right? If it's just jank, like, fun stuff, you know, it's fine. Get people to come over and play, and you can play, like, you know, you can play with, like, the event deck, right? Just get, like, a Silver Age deck. You can play, like, UPF or some nonsense if you really wanted to. But did you have to buy Haboob to play it in Dromai after you ripped all yours up? No, I did not. I did not. I wish a lot of the fun decks weren't so cringe. Sometimes you gotta be cringe to have fun. And I mean that shit. That's just how it be. I am free because I am cringe. Don't kill the part of you that's cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. But I don't know. I think the format, again, this is going to be something that I'm going to bring up pretty consistently probably for the next like several months, is that I don't think Silver Age is dead. Right, we did just get a whole bunch of really like we got Blaze, We got the 3 new heroes from Silver Age or from Omens. We're getting Raiden in the format. Like Milbers, what the hell are we at? We've got Mastery Pack Warrior coming up pretty soon, which will also include 2 new heroes to the Silver Age format and more weapons as a downshift. So, like, there are things to look forward to, right? I just think the reason I'm upset personally about this ban list is because I wanted something. I mean, yeah, we're not really counting Aurora as a new hero because we're just going to play the old Aurora anyway. But I'm disappointed more so because I don't have something that I can tell my locals who are shitting on Silver Age, like, actively, and I know you're in this chat. I know everybody that's in this chat that's done this. If you're actively in here, and anytime Aiden has said that X date is going to be Sage, and people boo out loud physically, they boo out loud to let Aiden know that that was a bad choice and we shouldn't be doing anything for Silver Age. I want those people to be excited about Silver Age, and this BNR does not do that. Doesn't do it. This BNR does not do that for anybody. Like, it is not enough for me to go, don't you see they're balancing it? They've balanced it. Does this not make you want to at least try and play one of these decks? And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted this to be. Selfishly, that's what I wanted this to be. Is I wanted more and more of people that I love seeing at Classic Constructed Armories also show up at Silver Age Armories. And this isn't gonna help that. Like, we're gonna play Silver Age if we're drunk and it's 3 a.m. and we're not looking to play a wonderful game of Mario vs. Victor. That's when it's like, okay, let me just play around with Blaze for a little bit. So, it's a shame. Sound like a warrior attack react right now. Which one? Provoke? Any of them, I see. But that's exactly it, right? Like, there's just a situation where I feel that this could have been good news, right? This could have been good news that they were like, we fucked up, we could have made things different, but instead we have to hope that new players are still wanting to get into the game through Silver Age due to the ignorance of not knowing what is powerful and what isn't. And then hope they stay, right? And then hope they stay. And if they stay and then go and play CC, it's awesome, right? If they stay and they only play Silver Age, it's awesome. But, like, it just does not come across as a fun thing to promote, which is what feels bad. Millie, do you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Can I say hi? Oh, it's okay. Oh, girl, you're so happy. Whoa. Oh. You cat. Millie, say hi. You sniff tap? She is crazy right now. She is huffing and puffing. What are you big sniffing for? Look, Mill, you're on camera. Do you see this? Okay. Bet. So heavy. Ton of fun when you're actually playing a game. Yeah. They need to address the one. If LSS can address the 100-0 matches, the 100% win, 0% for the opponent matches that exist within Silver Age, we'll be fine. But I'm not gonna lie, that's like a solid like 3 years from now. I am. I am still on the Clash panel, although we haven't really done anything with Clash recently, so. Oh, good. You miss Clash? I mean, you know, we were trying to do casual like Clash, but people weren't showing up, so. So this will iterate to more actively curate the format. And I hope so, right? I hope so, Nora. I do genuinely think that, again, we're in a growing pains state. Like, this is just kind of where it's been for a while. So, just gave Phil approval to drop Clash in February, so Clash. Okay, cool. Well, that is good to know. That is good to know. Yo, what's up? Sting. Is this Billy? Is this Mr. Bourne? Let's go. Let's go. What's up, Billy? Sage is an ambitious project for any paper style format. Yeah. Where were you in Clash Time? Yeah, this is it. This is where you're all going to find out. You're all finding out today. What you do tomorrow if you were given control of Silver Age to turn it into the format that would make people like me excited? What bans of policy changes are you making? I think we give players more than one vote. Like up to 3. So that way they can choose the top 3 heroes that they want banned instead of just one. Because I think that would have definitely changed who got banned this season. I think taking a stance at more aggressive bans is important. Because that's exactly it. Like, I think we should be taking more, we should be more aggressive with the things that are actually activating engines and are not reducing things. So, yo, what's up? How you doing, Andrew? Yeah, exactly. Same brains. That's exactly it. Like, I also, again, like, I think there needs to be, I don't know what testing happens at LSS. I genuinely don't. I imagine most of their testing is done from a limited perspective, and that's their focus. And then they're like, is this going to break CC? Somebody figure that out. And then everything else is, what is it possibly going to do for Silver Age? And they don't really care about that. Right? They're like, whatever, it's not like the end of the world for these things. But the fact of the matter is that I don't know what testing they're doing internally, but I would be taking data from armories and competitive events that we're getting in through Gem, comparing cards that are within those decks that are egregious and causing, you know, significant skews in top 8 results, and then looking to make changes to what cards are banned. You know, I also, again, another thing that I think is a pretty big deal is I would just kill off heroes. Unalive off heroes. Whatever. Like, Chain and Briar just don't exist in the format anymore. And it's like, okay, it feels bad for the people who wanted to play Briar, who wanted to play Chain. What if, and hear me out, every 5 years as an anniversary for one season, we let them back in? Right? Fun little thing, right? The entire format's changed after 5 years. Why don't we just let them back in? Right? Or the one thing that I think a lot of people are wanting to do that LSS isn't doing at all is hero-specific bans. Right? Ban all of the rune chant generation, but only for Chain. You know? Allow Vincent to still play the same hero that she is, but don't worry about, like, taking in some other concept. Like, those are probably the things I'd change, right? I mean, genuinely. I think I've gotten, and then of course it's about trying to figure out what the 100% matchups are, right? Going around and asking players and saying, hey, you know, I know personally that Oldham Florian is busted as all shit and Florian will always win into Oldham. What can we do to make that not as powerful? Make Florian not rely on that as their one way to beat Oldham, right? Have them utilize some other strategy to do that. I want to play them, have a good alternative. Yeah. Like, I think there are plenty of options and opportunities for this system to change, right? With over 50 heroes, the 100 matchups are going to happen, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't, Nathan. They shouldn't happen at all. They should not happen at all. There should be no 100 matchups, period. It should not happen. It is not what makes for good gameplay. You should not see your opponent flip over their hero and go, I concede, right? There's no way that there's not a way to balance that, period. Like, there's just no way that out of the 6 years of game design that they have, that stops that, right? Outside of quite literally banning the 2 heroes that are having a 100-0 match, right? Yeah, sometimes you don't get to go first in stage and you lose. And that's down to what combo potential is available for things. So, what about an errata? Like, make Chain's ability shadow actions and not Runeblade actions. I mean, sure, you can errata. I mean, if Briar is able to get an errata, I don't see why Chain couldn't. But I feel like doing erratas is far more confusing than hero specific bans, if I'm going to be entirely honest. But that's why I'm saying, like, if a hero needs an errata, right? If you print a hero and that hero is really busted in a format, and you know that anytime they are specifically going to be in the format, that they are going to run that format into the ground, just ban the hero forever, right? I think LL would be a much better place if they just did not allow for you to play Starvo or Chain, period. Right? I mean, they did it for Golden Age. Like, Golden Age is just a fan-made format, right? But, like, they quite literally just said, fuck it, not playing these heroes. They're not even going to try and balance them. Don't even give it a try. Don't even do that. Just ban the heroes forever. And I'm fine with that. I would gladly take all the heroes with egregious hero powers that are only egregious in 20 life formats where the numbers are so incredibly important that they're gonna change the format. And so I'd much rather them just be gone And again, in a roster of 60 heroes, losing like 4 heroes to the wins and then maybe bringing them back every like 5 years is kind of a fun thing. So I think that that is something that is far more acceptable personally. I mean, I don't know what do you guys think? Like, would that be far more acceptable just to have these heroes gone forever? Or would you feel like you can't play a format where you're not allowed to play chain every other month? All in favor of PvE mode where they just fight Starbucks. Yeah. Gage is fun, but Briar's on the chopping block, so I'll be out of hero again. Yeah, and she should be. Like I said, like, hero powers are really good, and it's the one thing that you can't, like, ban, right? You can't ban just the hero power and just say you can still play an elemental rune blade with essence of earth and lightning. Like, you're gonna have to ban the hero. Most people who are playing freaking Briar anyway are playing her like you would Aurora. So you just play Aurora instead. I do believe it's a reality. So change it, right? Change it. You know? A permaban, we gotta realize that, like, at some point, hero, like, there was a series of cards that came out before, in the before times, the 1.0 days, that are absolutely busted. And if we took all of our efforts to try and balance it in-house, release it to the public, and then say, here you go, we eroded the hero to do this, it's going to be a little bit better and not anywhere near as egregious. And then we take a look at, you know, Nova-chan piloting new eroded chain to the top of the board anyway. How am I as somebody who balances a format going to feel about that when a pro player goes, we made it broken anyway? Go again on a hero power is just broken. So Bravo cost. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, not everybody was busted in 1.0, okay? There were a decent amount of them though. There were a decent amount of them, I gotta say. Everybody enjoys them. That depends on what you're playing, or where you're playing, I should say. If you're playing at a showdown, you're gonna see Briar and Chain as a majority. If you were playing at an armory, I don't know, that depends on how sweaty you want to be. Like, you can show up with whatever you want, and it's an armory, right? At that point, it's like, haha, silly fun testing. I wanted to see how this hero worked with a downshift in this thing. But, you know, some people will bring the top tier deck. You know, I know that sometimes we even see it locally. We have an LGS that does 100% store credit back to the top 4. And it's not 100% to it, but split, you know what I mean? Split amongst the top 4. So technically you could win money, and therefore some people want to be a little bit more sweaty during those armories. But, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's about what you want to do. You know, I think if you are going to go to a showdown though, or a calling, you're probably going to see only the meta decks, and then like 2 people who are like, I think I can beat the meta. I'm just not going to pair into them, and I'll make day 2, or I'll make top 8, and then I'll die to them in top 8, and I'll have cashed. Not going to play him versus new people who get started. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you see Marionette a lot. I mean, I think I'm probably one of like 2 people right now locally, maybe 3 people that are actually playing Marionette at locals. And honestly, I'm playing it to get more familiar with the deck, because we actually have, fun fact, like a in-state tournament that's happening, the Colorado Tournament of Champions, number 3, happening in like a week, and I want to practice for it. So, and that's going to be good prizing. So, hosted by the Cog Crankers, that is correct. So yeah, if you do ever want to catch some cool CC action of what it's like out here in Colorado, next weekend, right? It is next weekend. My math is good. Yeah, it is next weekend. Sunday the 7th. Sunday the 7th. You can win a Huntsman Trust. I'm not going to win a Huntsman. That's not happening. Victor is still very much so a relevant deck in the format. That is a 100%. Teklo players in our local meta, 100% win for them if they're on block Teklo. Tanner, the only motherfucker I think on boost Teklo locally, hosting the event. So can't pair to him. Can't pair to boost Teklo. More times, if you're really good at a C tier hero, you could win. Sage isn't long enough to do that. Yeah, true. They both. We're getting hollow. Why not the mountain? You already have young Jarl. You play Oldhim. Play Oldhim. Still not doom and gloom. Let's find out if it's better with the same thing. I'm betting it's the same thing though. It's just rough. It's just rough. Like I don't know. Again, you know me, Nathan. I am quite positive as an individual. People locally know me as a very positive individual, I would like to think. But this is just, it's disappointing. It's disappointing that I can't go, do you see everybody? They're balancing it. They're balancing Silver Age. Don't you want to come play Silver Age with me? Don't you want to come hang out in an armory and jam some quick games and then go get Denny's afterwards? Doesn't that like rock? And I can't do that now. I cannot actively just be like, yeah, of course they're balancing it. I took one look at the ban list and I said, they didn't even ban Soul Reaping. Who are they balancing, Vincent? Like, what are we doing? So, yeah. Maybe we're just in an era where the precons are a problem, right? And the precons need to go. And instead, whatever they're planning for set 4 or set 20 for chapter 4 stuff isn't a precon and is instead like a promo pack or something that you can get when buying Silver Age stuff or whatever, or what have you, right? Like a pack of class staples instead of a deck, right? So, Sam, the precons don't need to be illegal. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they need to be either. So, do you think LSS wasn't making bans to balance? They said they were making bans in order to change the format. KO is gone. Because people like me thought Runeblade would be gutted. Like, I think KO's obviously just gone because the votes are higher. Like, Runeblade wasn't. I don't think they could have banned it. You can't ban enough cards from the Runeblade class to make it not busted. Like, Sigil of Suffering, like, even back when Runeblade started and Chain was being able to be played in season 0, guess what? You still have Sigil of Suffering, reduced to Rune Chant. Now you've got Weeping Battleground. Like, you've got a bunch of D reacts that they cut from every other hero. Like, Runeblades just have a good card pool, and they're not willing to really do anything about that. Just remove Runeblade in general. And that's saying, as somebody who likes Runeblade, I think that Runeblade is egregious in this format. Just make it where you can play the pre-con, but if you change anything, it's not legal. Yes, exactly. A little funny that this starter deck is legal out of the box. Exactly. Right? Like, you're running into the same issue one way or the other. Right? They banned Beckoning Haunt. Now, if any of those LGSs that believed in LSS and LSS doesn't want to hurt their investment into buying this product to provide to their players, why would they ban something from a pre-con at all? Like, now if a new player sees Runeblade Viscerai up there and goes, ooh, that one, I want that one right there, purple guy, I want that one. And then they go get it, they open it up, they bring it to their armory, boom, not legal, right? Card not legal now. And we do the same thing that we would do for Briar if this was the same situation. We would tell the player, I don't give a shit, play with the deck if you want, just know that these cards are banned and here's some suggestions to replace them. Easy as that. Because you're going to have veteran players there. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be a new player who's first time playing Flesh and Blood with 7 other players, and it's also their first time playing Flesh and Blood, all at a Silver Age armory at a store. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have somebody there who knows. And they'll be able to help. That's what I strive to do every day, is help new players and get them familiar with the game and better their knowledge in Flesh and Blood so that way they can continue to grow with it. Something to tease the mind a little, you know? So it's legal out of the box. Thanks, Kamigawa. And they created an upstir, but this was due to have a duplicate card. Right. Like it just doesn't matter. Well, thank you, Nora. I'm happy I could help anybody stop quitting. I feel like I've done that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've stopped a lot of people from quitting. Just because, like, you know, at the end of the day, the vibes are immaculate, right? Me getting to go hang out with the homies every night, almost, going to armories, yap sessions outside the LGS, like, the game is thought-provoking to where I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually feel like I'm using brain power for once in my 24, you know, or 24 hours I've been awake or whatever. Like, I've gone to states I've never been to before. I'm doing things. Like, I've made friends in this game. I've made like relationships with people that I never thought I would. I have people come up to me at big, like, tier 4 events and thank me for getting them into the game. Like, I'm honored that I get to do what I do every day. And when there are situations that you get to have, like, just a glowing community, and every now and again people bitch about the game, I'm like, okay, that's fine, right? It's whatever. Things are gonna get better, okay? I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's gonna sound like a BetterHelp commercial, but things are gonna get better. But just buckle down and play Runeblade this season, and then we'll see what next season has in store for us. We'll see if changes, maybe they'll announce last minute on the next BNR that they also missed another thing about the voting system, in which if they ever vote out a hero with the letter C in it, it actually gets half points towards a separate LL system that is actually coordinated on the side that allows them to then get benched for additional seasons on top of it. And maybe we'll only find that out the second they actually decide to fucking release the votes for Silver Age. Like, what the fuck? Anyway. Guardian BDE, sure. I believe. Just don't play into friggin' Florian, okay? Alright, does anybody have any questions for me? I unfortunately have to get going here pretty soon because I have a flight to catch at 7 a.m. So I will be getting out of here pretty soon, but yeah. Sleeves, do I use Dragon Shield? Preferably. I haven't really dove into too many other things, but I use Dragon Shield for mine. I like the dual mats a lot. Very cool. Not sponsored. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. I have a fun flight. Well, fun isn't really true. I fall asleep, so. What hero will I be rocking for Nats? I'm bringing Marionette for CC games if people want to jam CC, because people are probably going to want to prep for events. And then I am playing... I don't know. I'm probably playing Briar. The best deck in the format, I'd imagine. But I'll be probably bringing my what do you call it? My battle box anyway. So it'll probably have like Icelander, Briar, Oldhim, Chain, Blaze. I really do want to play Blaze because I never played Blaze in Blitz, so I think it'd be kind of fun. Try the Katana sometimes. I don't fuck with Ultimate Guard really, so do not fuck with Ultimate Guard for morality reasons, but KMC Hyper, I do hear, I mean, you and Tyler both talk about KMC Hyper for like a while, but I don't know where to find them, and like frankly they're not like widely available, so but I don't know. I just like the Dragon Shield. I think the Dragon Shield are nice. They sit well with a double sleeved card. So because I use Dragon Shield inner sealables, and then I put them inside of a Dragon Shield, and they have enough room. So, but going to Las Vegas, I am going to Las Vegas, Piers. Yes, if I can help it, I'm going to Las Vegas. I already requested the time off of work. I just need to get a flight and figure out who the fuck I'm rooming with. So, but we'll see. I'd like to theoretically stay at the Westgate. So we should probably get on that like soon. So I can't do it. I've got like pretty big hands too. And like I can't triple sleeve my deck. It feels gross. It feels sharp. Like so like the most like autistic thing I think I could say. It's like it's sharp to hold. Like it feels sharp to hold the cards in my hand when they are triple sleeved. Like I don't know what to I genuinely can't explain that any better, I don't think. So yeah. Like I can't be doing all that. I can't. Just give him a few swipes. I'm not trying to like break like I've had Dragon Shield standard split on me. I'm not trying to split a freaking, not only that, but oddly enough, So fun story before I get out of here. It was one of my second top 8s on Huntsman during the PQ season. I get brought into the top 8. I say brought because there was a homie scoop. We were all great and awesome and very thankful for that. To allow me to get into top. I ended up getting in there. I snuck in on 8th place, and I was like, okay, sick. So my deck had not been checked, and my opponent's deck had not been checked. I've been playing the game the whole day, right? No issues whatsoever. This is, and I might kid you not, this is the first time I have ever triple sleeved a deck, ever. The first time I've triple sleeved a deck. I then give my deck to our judge to check. My judge proceeds to then go, hey, heads up, one of the cards in your deck has a really deep scratch on the triple sleeve. Do you have other triple sleeves on you? And I'm like, nah, I do not actually. And he's like, do you want, like, you have a sideboard? Can you just take one of your sideboard triple sleeves and put it on there for right now? And then you can go buy new triple sleeves if need be. I'm like, yeah, I can absolutely do that. Never has that happened to me with double sleeves, ever. I have never had a scratch on a card, ever. I have never had my deck checked and my judge go, there's a nick on your card. Like, obviously you should get new sleeves. Never has this happened ever in my entire life. And now it's like, okay, so Lazy don't sleeve besides the first time because it's just cards. Yeah, I mean, like, you sleeve the one time. I don't ever like need to go too much in depth with it. Like, if the only time I feel the need to triple sleeve, if I were to triple sleeve, would be as if I had like rare 1 of 10 you know, outer or standard sleeves that I wanted to protect because all 100 Dragon Shield sleeves I purchased were signed by James White himself, right? And then I'm like, okay, right, what the hell? Like, this is a grail. Like, I probably wouldn't even play with them if I'm being entirely honest. So, yo, what's up, Ty? We were talking about the BNR a little while ago, but now we're on the topic of sleeving. I re-sleeve every deck new comp season. I refuse to double sleeve even my expensive cold foils. Interesting. Dragon sleeves at Nats? Yeah, and I mean, like, I could see that being a thing where I definitely consider myself the one to do that. But because I have the Tomultai, Dracona Optimi, and Dominia sleeves sealed in my closet right over there. And that would be what I'm probably going to sleeve Dromai 2.0 in. But at the end of the day, they're just sleeves. And, like, I can just go buy new ones if I really need to. I'd rather not ruin my own, like, tactile experience because of that. Fortunately, art brushes off, and I ain't buying new Jarl sleeves every other month, so it's fair. Fair. It's why, I mean, it's why I don't often go for, like, art sleeves. Usually, if I'm gonna, like, art sleeve something, it's like a collection. But not normally anything that I think is, like, that I'm gonna play with, I think. Sleeves to play with. I will. Girl, you know damn well we're gonna, the second Dromai comes out, we're swapping heroes immediately. Like, I'm gonna be playing, I'm playing Dromai. I will sleeve Dromai in freaking Tomultai sleeves. I will do it. But right now, my sleeve color of choice is Void, which is a dual matte sleeve. So found good cheap sleeves that I like, and I stock up every year. Fair. Yeah, matte black's pretty good too. Although I gotta see, yeah, because what is it? Let me see if I have them. they're called Soul, not Void. It's let's see if these go up. So they're like a metallic purple and a black inside. So I like those a lot. All right, see you later, Andrew. Good to see ya. Let me know if you need me to pop on for a cast for good old time's sake. Yeah. Anyway, it's late for me. Y'all know everything I gotta do. But I'll be on vacation, so you'll probably not see too much from me. But it is pre-release weekend, so please make sure to go to your pre-release. If you haven't signed up already, you should be going to one, because they're super awesome. Art sleeves with the black edge interior. That would be cool. I would like that a lot, actually. Go to your pre-release. Get some good pulls out of your packs. Honestly, if you don't plan on playing any of these heroes, sell the cards immediately. So you can make the most money you possibly can. And then use that money to buy generic staples that you don't own. And that's how you get into Flesh and Blood. But yeah, so it's pre-release season. Go hang out at pre-release. I'm not going to be back here at my computer until Tuesday. So it'll be a little while before another video comes out, but you can always continue to watch me crash out on the recent episode of the Common Language podcast. And yeah, plenty more stuff to come from that. I'll also be doing more advertising for our Tournament of Champions that's going to be coming up here pretty soon too, so it's going to be nice. But there's a whiteboard. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Also, I love you too, Tanner. I love you all. Thank you so much for continuing to support me, continuing to support your local game store, continuing to support your fellow man, your fellow everybody around you. Like, just continue being good. Continue being a good person. And I hope that you all continue to have fun in the Flesh and Blood, regardless of what the BNR says. Have fun, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is having fun. So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your pre-release. Show me your polls in our Discord, and I'll chat with all of you very soon. Good night, everyone.